All right, guys, quick update. As you can see, mustache is here, shaved a little bit. I don't know if anyone cares about this, but we're gonna continue to see how this grows and see where this goes. This has taken me quite a bit of time. I've messed it up a few times as well, so I'm just trying to play damage control. So the next couple videos might be quite interesting. This is about 2 months in the making, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. All right, here we go. Medina, Ohio. Let's jump in. You're thinking about making the move to Medina, Ohio, but you're wondering, what's the good and the bad, the pros and the cons, the yin and the yang? Well, in today's video, we're going to take a look at just that. We are going to dive into it and really figure out if this is going to be the right fit for you and your family. And of course, if you want to learn a little bit more about the real estate side of things, be sure to schedule a call or reach out in some manner and I'll be happy to assist you. However, today we're going to take a dive into Medina, Ohio, pros and cons, and we're really going to figure out whether or not this is something you want to explore further. All right, stay tuned, buckle up, and let's begin. Hey guys, if you're new to the channel and you want to know all there is about living in Cleveland, Ohio, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you can be notified whenever we upload a new video and stay current on all things Cleveland. My name is Kip Sweeney with Living Cleveland, Ohio, powered by Mancuso Homes, eXp Realty, and we get calls from people just like yourself looking to move in 9 days, 9 months, whatever that is. We are here to help and to make a quick or at least a smooth transition to Cleveland, Ohio. My contact information is in the description box below, so schedule a call, shoot me an email, send me a text, give me a call, whatever it may be. I'll be happy to assist you and help you find your dream location here in Cleveland, Ohio. But for now, let's jump into the pros and cons of Medina, Ohio. So before we really dive into the pros and cons of Medina, Ohio, I want to give a little bit of, I guess, a neutral opinion, because this could be good or bad depending on the type of individual. And so I don't want to say it's a pro or con for either way. However, Medina has definitely changed over the years. So what used to be much more rural, more land and country-like, has begun to turn into more of a suburban feel and area. Now, some people like this because of the pros that we're going to get to, but some of the people that were there early on and have been there for a very long time and were there for that rural area, that country-like living, see this as a con. So not sure, depending on where you're coming from, what you're looking for, and what it is you want, this could either go both ways. Now, we're going to jump into the pros and cons of obviously the rest of Medina, so this can help determine whether this is a pro or con, because even though some of that rural aspect is gone, there's still a lot of land to be had, which is great. So if you're looking for acres with a house, you can still have that in Medina. All right, let's jump into the pros and cons now, and then you can obviously use that information how you will. First pro for today is going to be the charming small town feel. So Medina is really the perfect blend of a small town charm with that modern convenience. So for example, the heart of the town being this historic Medina Square, you're gonna find beautiful Victorian architecture and buildings, as well as some local shops, which are always really nice to support, but also cafes and events like the Medina Ice Festival in the wintertime, and the art in the park, which is really cool because it really, if you want to compare it, makes it feel something like a Hallmark movie, which is kind of fun. But the streets are tree lined. It's just a really nice atmosphere and a community vibe, and just that charming town where people know each other, or they want to know each other in that sense. So you really kind of feel comfortable here, but you can have a lot of different things to do. It's not, cluttered with commercial chains. It's not cluttered with a ton of things that you could find in every city, in every state, so it has that small town charm where you're gonna find these local shops that you get to meet the owners of, and you can really support them and do good by them by supporting them and bring them business and referring them and things of that nature. It's a really fun atmosphere, and it's something that anyone can be a part of. Whether it's someone with children, single, elderly, whatever it may be, there's going to be something for everyone. So our next pro is gonna be the affordability. So one of Medina's big pros is just that it is affordable. There's going to be, the housing here is so much more reasonable to some nearby cities, or if you're looking in the big cities like Cleveland and Akron, especially county-wise. So Medina is going to be in Medina County, whereas most of Cleveland is in Cuyahoga County. So you are just outside of it. Now, the big thing to note here is that And to give you a rough idea of these taxes, in 2022, according to Cleveland.com, the median tax rate in Medina County was $1,634 per $100,000. Now in Cuyahoga County, the median was $2,727 per $100,000. So that gives you a pretty good idea that you're gonna be, saving a lot more money on that house and that property bill when it comes to Medina County, which is a big pro. But not only that, obviously the taxes and just the fact that you're gonna save money there, you're gonna get your money to go a little bit further in Medina County in Medina, I should say, because that's what we're talking about, in the city, than you will in Cleveland and pretty much most of Cuyahoga County. So in Medina, you're really gonna be able to afford maybe a bigger house, or maybe you're going to get more land, or maybe you're going to be able to get a more updated home, or if you're looking for a starter home and you want something that you can renovate, you can fix up and make your own, you're gonna be able to find all that, So that's a huge pro to Medina, but not only the fact that your money's gonna go a little further, but the fact that you can really find anything in Medina. So whether you're looking for an older home and you love that history, the Victorian architecture, you really enjoy that and that's what you want, that's what you're looking for, you're gonna find that. Now, let's say you're like, oh, I want some land and I want more of a little bit of an updated home, something a little bit more modern. Well, you'll be able to find that as well. So Medina has from new developments all the way down to homes in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So you're really gonna be able to find whatever home it is that you're looking for, it's gonna be out there for you, as well as the land and the space, depending on what you want. And of course, whether you wanna be in a community or outside of the community. Now, some of that might determine how busy the street is that you live on, but they're out there. So Medina really offers all of that for anyone that would like to take advantage of it. So we had spoken a little bit about the real estate, and I told you about the housing. You're really gonna find any type of home you want, whether that's a new build, whether that's country living, whether that's being in a subdivision, whether that's outside of one, no HOA, whatever it might be, you're going to be able to find that here in Medina. It really offers it all, including the historic homes that you're going to be able to find. So whatever your price point is, whatever the type of architecture that you're looking for, and whatever kind of home you want, you're going to be able to find that in Medina, Ohio. So it's really an exciting thing. It really offers a variety to everyone. First-time homebuyers, people looking to upgrade or downgrade, and of course, retirees. Everyone can find something here. It's really a very nice place and underappreciated, in my opinion. So the next pro is going to be its location. So we talked about the real estate, and you're gonna get a pretty affordable home for your money. Now, location-wise, it's pretty nicely located in between Cleveland and Akron. Now, you're gonna be a little bit closer to Akron, maybe about 20-25 minutes, but you're gonna be about a 40-minute drive to Cleveland. Now, it's not some crazy drive, it's just gonna be a little bit more on the freeway. However, this being said, the pro about this is that you have your options. You can go either way. So whether you need to take a flight out of Hopkins, you can get that way. That's probably gonna be about 25-30 minutes just because of its location. You're not gonna be terrible. Now, keep in mind, of course, that being said, if you're working in Cleveland, you might be getting stuck in rush hour or that traffic, so it might be a little bit longer than the 40 minutes. Now, if you want, and say like, hey, let's go to Akron, you wanna catch maybe a minor league sports game, because that's where you're gonna find there. You're gonna see a little bit more minor leagues and university sports, and you'll be able to get there in 25 minutes. Or if you wanna go out to a restaurant there, you can really take advantage of Medina's location to really experience anything it is that you're looking for. So whether you want to go downtown to Cleveland and just have a nice night there, or go catch a Browns game or a Guardians game, or whatever it may be, a Cavs game, you can do that. Now, we'll talk about a little bit of a con about all this, but you're able to do this and you're able to go into nearby cities as well very easily from Medina if you really wanted to. Hopping out of the freeway is very simple. You have very easy access to get there from Medina. You're not driving, you're not taking too long on the back roads to get there. It's not long whatsoever. And so you really have access to wherever you'd like to go. And that's a huge pro for Medina. You can do anything and everything depending on your mood, what you're looking for, and what you'd like to do that day or that evening. So it's a great location. All right, so the next pro is going to be that community feel, that tight-knit community feel. And as you may have assumed based off of it being a nice small town charm, it does have a tight-knit community, which is great. And some might see this as a negative or con, just because you don't want people being nosy or up in your business, which totally makes sense. However, it's going to be a great place for kids, for you guys, for anyone really, just because of what it has to offer. As we mentioned, you have that historic landmark, and you really do have a lot to do here. You have a lot of nature, which is very cool. So you have like Regan Park, and you have Castle Noel, which are really two fun places to take either a friend, family, whatever it may be, kids, and it's just gonna be something that they're gonna be able to do, get all that energy out so that they go home and sleep later on, hopefully. Whatever it may be, it's pretty fun knowing that you can go to these places and enjoy them without having to be nervous or concerned about anything. You're gonna feel safe, you're gonna feel good. It's a nice, tight-knit community, and if that's something you want, then perfect. Now, of course, on the flip side, you can always say that's a con, like we said, but you're still able to kind of avoid that if you didn't want that, but you wanted the other benefits of Medina. So it's not saying that's going to push you out of the city or you're going to be ostracized or anything like that. It's just a pro that people can really take into consideration and have for themselves. All right, so another fun pro, I don't know if this will change anything for you, but it's going to be the rich history and the culture. So Medina really is proud of its history, which is fun, because not harping on Strongsville, but Medina and Strongsville are very similar. In this way, they do have history, but I would say Strongsville has lost a little bit of that with the chains and the commercial businesses, where Medina has been able to keep some of that and has held on to that in the local businesses. Now, of course, again, Medina is going to be a little bit more rural than Strongsville, but they're very similar in that sense, with Medina having a little bit more of a history and that culture to it. But again, Medina is really proud of their history. For example, you're going to be able to see this in the Medina County Historical Society. You're also going to be able to see this in their Medina County Fair. So that will happen in Medina, the city. And of course, if you're a fan of unique things and unique shops and places, you're going to want to visit Root Candles. So you really will want to see Root Candles. It's just a company who has been in Medina, a staple there for over 150 years, making candles, but really taking pride in the way they do it. They do it using all the proper ingredients, but also, of course, taking care of bees and the wax and all of that. They don't skip a stride in what they do. They are here to make a proper, luxurious, and well-made candle without skipping any steps and without injuring or hurting anything of the environment. So it's really an awesome thing to see, and it's awesome to just kind of visit and take a look how they do it. So next up, schools. Parents, this is gonna be for you, or soon to be, or I guess down the line for anyone that is interested in being parents. I can't speak too much on this, being the agent, but I do recommend going to niche.com or greatschools.org to kind of do your own research. However, I can say that they are strong, they are good schools. You do have a strong academics program, you have a nice arts program, as well as sports program. So you have all three, which is really, really fantastic, because whether your children are looking to play an after-school sport or a different extracurricular activity, get into theater, whatever it may be, they can really do all of these different things at their school, but also while getting a great education and knowing that they're taken care of at their school. So this is gonna be a pro for all parents, or soon to be, or future parents, whatever it may be. And this is something that you can really dive a little deeper, of course, using those recommended websites that I suggested. However, that's pretty much as much as I can share based on that. But I will say it is a pro, and it's something to look forward to. We've been talking about all the pros. So you're like, hey, Kip, if it's so great, why isn't everyone living there? Well, let's talk about some of the cons. So first and foremost, just like many of these videos that we've made, limited nightlife. So there are going to be bars and pubs, similar to the Sully's Irish Pub and other places there. But if you're looking for like a trendy club or something of that nature, you're not gonna find that here in Medina. You're not gonna find that. You're gonna have to go to either Cleveland or Akron for that. And that's going to kind of take us into the next con, which is going to be the fact that it is a distance away from Cleveland, and 20 minutes, it's not terrible to Akron, but let's take into consideration that you do want to go to a club, or you do want to go out to a ball game, whatever it may be, but have some drinks. And let's just say that you need to Uber, you don't have a DD. So if you're going to Uber somewhere, a 40-minute Uber isn't going to be the most pocket friendly, right? It's going to be a little expensive. Unless you're splitting it with a bunch of people, then that would be perfect. However, an Uber 25 minutes, 20 minutes to Akron, a little less expensive, sure, but still, it's not, something that you're going to want to be spending every single weekend on. that's gonna get a little expensive. It's gonna add up. You know, it's almost like if you were to buy a Starbucks coffee every single day, which, you know, not knocking anyone for doing that, but you see those expenses add up. And it could happen depending on your lifestyle, what you're looking for, and what you typically do. If you were to Uber all the time to Cleveland, to Akron, even nearby cities, you know, whether that's Strongsville or going a little further to Cuyahoga Falls, whatever it may be, you can have these activities, you can do these things, but this is just kind of a negative because you have to consider everything now. When you want to do something, it's like, all right, well, do we need to Uber? Do we have someone to drive? What is it? It's something that you're always going to have to think about and debate when planning activities. All right, another con, limited shopping, high-end shopping, I should say. So Medina has a lot of local great shops, which is awesome. And that's a huge con, right? It's just the fact that it's a lot of local business owners. But if you're looking for high-end brands, or even maybe a wider selection, you might have to go to nearby malls in Strongsville or Akron. Now, and to some, that's not a bad thing because it's nearby, and that way you get to keep that historic charm and you're not bringing that stuff into your city and you're just making that drive. And also, I mean, there's also a lot of online shopping. So depending on who you are, if you like to be in person, then you can make that 15-minute drive to Strongsville, hit a big mall there with South Park, or you can go over to Akron in 20-25 minutes and get to the malls there. So it's just depending on what you're looking for and what kind of shopper you are. But it's something to consider as well. Considering that I said I wasn't going to include it into the cons, it's just something I'm going to toss in here, is that urban sprawl, just because it is something that maybe isn't a bad thing for the housing. You know, you're adding more people, you're adding more housing options, which is great. But for some people, you're going to see land get taken away. And it depends on that piece of land, where it's at, what gets built. More of a neutral thing depending on who you are and what you like to see and what you want. But the only thing I'll give the fact that, you know, land being taken away and this urban sprawl and bringing more suburban, you're bringing more homes. What might happen along with this is that obviously grocery stores come in, businesses, all of that. And it's what those become and what come there that I think determines whether this can be a pro or con. Because sure, it's great to be nearby and close to your stores and what you need to do, so you don't have to always drive 20 minutes for groceries. But at the same time, it's what stores come in. I don't want to say which ones. Are we getting a store that I like, a store that I don't like? What is it? And those are the things. So is it going to be a chain? Is it going to be a local business? What is it going to be? Those are the things that are still in the air, depending on where you are in Medina, that could be a con in this sense, with that suburban growth and with more people moving in to Medina. So that's how I'd twist that, and that's how I'm going to put that aspect of that information into the cons. I've spoken about how Medina is and was more rural. It has become a little bit more suburban. So you might think, hey, there's not that much traffic. But surprisingly enough, along with, you know, with the events and what Medina has to offer, a lot of people are coming into the city to enjoy those things, which can be a con. You know, some people don't want a lot of people coming to their city just for whatever reason. There's multiple reasons, but so that could be a con for some, it depends. But at the same time, so this can bring a little bit of traffic, but also around the peak hours, you're gonna see a little bit more traffic around the Medina Square, you know, the historic area, and also around areas like Route 18. Now again, this is gonna be your early mornings, your later afternoons when everyone's coming home from school, everyone's going to work or coming home from work, whatever it may be, but it's something that you're going to just take into consideration when you're going out to grab some milk, going out to go grab food, whatever it may be. It's, you know, it's something that you will think about. But along with that, with the growth that's coming to Medina and that is in Medina, the construction, that's going to add a little bit to that traffic as well. So you're gonna experience construction jams, not crazy. Don't think about going on the freeway and they've got 2 lanes shut down and you're sitting there for however long. It's not like that, but you're gonna experience that, you know, a little bit of construction here and there, but as time goes on and you stay there, obviously no one can tell what they're going to do with the city, what's going to happen, how it's going to turn out. But as the city continues to grow and things change, traffic might increase. It all kind of depends. But the one thing I would give that is the fact that people still do kind of hold on to their land, especially kind of outside of the subdivisions. They kind of hold on to their land, which helps ease up a little bit of that traffic. Now, of course, in some of the new developments where they kind of limit the amount of land that every house has, then in those areas, sure, you might see a little increase in traffic. So just something to take into consideration. Traffic is traffic. You're always going to have it, really. I don't really think of anywhere where you really won't, but you're going to experience it around those normal hours, you know? So going to work, maybe coming home from work, taking the kids to school, coming home from school, things like that, the peak hours, right? So just keep that in consideration. The last con that I would give Medina is the job market. So there are obviously jobs in Medina, but depending on what kind of job you have, might determine where you are. So for example, if you're in finance, if you're a financial advisor, you may not find those positions in Medina, or the one that you're seeking. So it all depends on what you're looking for and what you want to do. Sure, it offers different jobs, of course, but depending on what kind of job you have, maybe if it's the IT job. So these are things that you'll have to consider. You might be looking into Cleveland or into Akron, maybe into Strongsville, not so much, but maybe, depending on the position. You're gonna be looking at, again, in nearby cities, especially Cleveland and Akron, for those positions. So then in that case, you would be commuting to work. So it's gonna be something that you'll wanna know, hey, where am I working? How far is that away? And am I okay with this drive every day? Something to test out possibly, but it's something to think about. And it's just the fact that Medina doesn't have those big time jobs because of the historic charm and what it really has to offer. So at the end of the day, if you watched my Strongsville video, I kind of alluded to it earlier into this video. Strongsville and Medina are very similar. Medina is just gonna have a little bit more of that historic charm, a little bit more land, and you're gonna be able to find just pretty much everything. Strongsville has the same, but a little bit less land for homes, and a lot more commercial stuff, a lot more commercial stores, restaurants, all that, chains. And so if you want that commercial side of things, Strongsville is great because you have the access to all that. Or if you want land, Medina is gonna be the better fit because you can find 1, 2, 3 acres, and you can get a lot more than that too if you really want. So that's just something to consider if you're comparing the two. If you're looking at Strongsville, that's something to think about. Hey, which city do I want to be in? What are the pros and cons of each, which we have reviewed, so you can go ahead and watch both of those videos, and what is it that's the right fit for me. So really at the end of the day, Medina is going to be the right fit for anyone looking for maybe an affordable, family-friendly, community, historic charm, event-filled community and city, and being able to offer really anything home-wise and having that lesser property tax is just a huge plus to the city itself. And so if you're looking to retire, if you're looking to upgrade or downgrade, or if you're a new-time home buyer, whatever it is, it really has those options. It has that ability to call it home, depending on what you're looking for. Now, of course, it has its challenges, right? So commuting maybe to Cleveland, if that's where you're gonna be working, or having that limited nightlife, or not having maybe some of your favorite commercial chains around. Maybe you love Chick-fil-A. Not saying Chick-fil-A is not there, because it is, but I'm just using this as an example. Maybe you love some other chain that might not be there, but it's in a surrounding city and you have to make the commute there. This is something that you're gonna want to take into consideration as well. But in my opinion, the pros truly do outweigh the cons. Now, of course, I would love to hear from you, so let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you are from Medina, if you're from surrounding areas, whatever it may be, if you know about it, I would love for you to share any other information that I might have missed, so that we can really help everyone else who's coming to see these and get more information, just get as much as possible so that they can make the right decision for themselves. But otherwise, take care. I hope you enjoyed this video and got something from it. If there's any other cities that you're interested in, and I'm happy to make a video on that next time. Alrighty, take care and on to the next video.